Hey, this is Jessica Hammer, host of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hey, this is Lee.
And this is Chelsea.
And we are the host of your new favorite sales podcast, See Jane Sell.
Join us every Thursday for a new episode where we will tackle the realistic world of sales and maybe teach you a thing or two along the way.
You can subscribe to See Jane Sell on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, CastBox, and Spotify. Thanks, and enjoy the following podcast on Public House Media.
Hello, everyone. It's No Filter Friday on Public House Media, and I sound like straight trash because my voice is almost shot. As I sit here not drinking my regular tea, but throat coat, because that's what I need right now. Anyway, I need to put this laptop up on something. We're not high enough for what we want to do. All right, that's a little bit better. We can live with that, I suppose. Any hoozles. I'm going to take a second to share the show because sharing is caring. Where's my trap phone? Because sharing is caring, basically. We'll go this way. And we will start talking about what it is that we have to talk about this week, which is a whole bunch. But we'll see how long my voice lasts because I can't make any promises today. So, happy 90th episode? Yeah, happy 90th episode. We're 10 weeks out from 100. Yay, people. And, okay, speaking of which, so shout out to Public House Media because Public House Media turned 2 years old this week. If you can believe it, 2 years old. 2 years of Public House Media out here, doing God's work, fighting the good fight, all that stuff. Doing it. Baxter, Adriana, all those people that make Public House Media happen. David Bobke has been putting up with me for 2 years. That's a long time. Putting up with me for 2 years, that's long. That's like 104 weeks. That's a long time. So, and like Baxter knew me before that, so that's like even more for him. Anyway, so take a second to share the show, which is what I'm going to do. That's sharing is caring. That's what we have to do, especially in the time of Jeffrey Epstein and the pedo apocalypse. Because when I tell you that Facebook is censoring and hiding my video, believe it. Go back and look at the numbers. David Bobby says, fighting the good fight, making sure your sound is good, which it is. Thank God, because this voice is not what it's cracked up to be right now. Okay, So we're going to have a nice chat about Naomi Campbell. Old Nene is telling lies. E-I-E-I-ho. I'm so mean. There's things wrong with me. All right, anyway. So, to continue with our shout-outs, Public House Media is turned 2 this week. And on top of it, I always say that the show writes itself, but when I say that, sometimes I'm being, silly about it, but, it honestly does. In all reality, this show writes itself. Because now that we have all this history and 90 episodes together as a group, people send me stuff. They send me information. They send me receipts. They send me all kinds of nastiness. And it's sometimes with people I don't even know. They're like, oh, yeah, did you blah, 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 blah. A lot of times it is people I know from around town, but people are sending me the good stuff. The tea that is exceptionally good, to quote Wendy Williams. And I got some gems this morning. So my home skillet from Olive Fur that's been around. I've been around, but he's been around. He's second generation around here. He knows everybody. He's got them receipts. He's got that photographic evidence. I posted the thing earlier this week about Naomi Campbell and getting implicated in this whole, like, Epstein, Weinstein, everybody Steen, pedo apocalypse. And she's like, oh, no, this is an assassination of my character. I never done this, and I've never done that, and blah, 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 blah. Well, old Nene, Naomi Campbell, for as fabulous as she is, she always has her birthday party on a yacht in Cannes, or like a yacht on the Riviera during Cannes, like during the Cannes Film Festival. And anybody who knows anything about this business knows that Cannes is, every time you go out, you know you're about to haul out. It's loaded with prostitution, whether it be, you know, girls that are yachting, which is a thing, but those are consenting adults, and there's also people that are being trafficked. Every yacht in the Mediterranean, and some get shipped in from other parts of the world, are pulling up to Cannes for the hoes. They're not there for the movies. They're there for the hoes. Ask anybody. Anybody. It's a trafficking hotspot. So knowing that about Naomi, that's where she chooses to have her birthday, and it's a fabulous place. There's plenty of parties going on at Cannes that have nothing to do with people being human trafficked, but a lot of them are. So with that being said, that's where I've always seen her, was at Cannes, you know, faithfully for her birthday, every single year. Like, that's like her jump off. And, you know, she's not a spring chicken. She's been doing it a long time. So when she comes over here saying, oh, it's an assassination of my character, I've never done this, and I've never done that, and I didn't, you know, so-and-so didn't date this person, so-and-so didn't date that person. Like, well, what I heard was, as of today, is that, remember our old pal Brett Ratner? And how he was always trying to get girls to do this, trying to get girls to do that? Well, apparently he kept photos a la Paris Hilton style of every girl that he had been with, and then he kept a list of girls that he wanted to be with. So in his photo album, apparently somebody got him Naomi Campbell for his birthday, and there are pictures of this because she rolled up with like a custom B and a custom A or custom R over each nipple. So that was definitely a setup. You can't, you know, overnight Etsy a custom pasty overnight with that are initials. You can't be doing all that. So that was premeditated. But what makes me wonder about her, though, is for as temperamental as she is, because there used to be shirts that like, Naomi Campbell hit me and I liked it, or Naomi Campbell threw a phone at me and I liked it. She is definitely temperamental, but it makes me wonder about her now in this context. Like, I didn't really think about that when I would see her at Cannes, but these are the dudes that she is palsing around with, and there was Virginia Roberts and like another Epstein accuser, or, you know, tea spiller really, was like, yeah, they had Naomi around to make these girls feel comfortable, which makes sense when you start talking about like him and Les Wexner's relationship, the head of L Brands that owns Victoria's Secret. So Naomi Campbell, being a Victoria's Secret model, being on site with Les Wexner and with Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein and all these other people on numerous occasions, over and over and over again. There's photographs for days, according to these Epstein accusers, to be the Grey Goose. And I don't mean the drink. I mean like oh, hello, Alexa, thanks for coming in. There's like this thing called the Grey Goose, and that male Grey Gooses have females around them that aren't really doing anything, but it's to attract more females. Like, that's their thing. And there's a lot of like atmosphere modeling companies and stuff like that like operate under that like Grey Goose motto, kind of, is that if you have one, more will come, or if you have If you have a few, more will come. Or in Naomi Campbell's case, if you have like a big one, more will come. But she's super mean. So if you're like, oh, I want to go see Naomi Campbell, I've been a fan of hers forever, and you go up to her and she's like, and she gives you the Miss J, then you're just like, okay, I guess, bye, weird, awkward, and then you spin on your heels to get out of her gaze, and whose lap do you fall right into? A perfectly placed person. So Miss Old Nene out here telling lies about how she hasn't done this and she hasn't done that. Not buying it. You spend too much time on too many yachts in Cannes, which, admittedly, I do so enjoy myself, but her habitualness, I also don't have a picture with Jeffrey Epstein or Harvey Weinstein or any of these Steens or Brett Ratner, which brings me back to the whole Brett Ratner conversation, because Brett Ratner came up under Bob Evans and Russell Simmons, and they all have these like same little proclivities about the kind of chicks they like and the kind of things that they did to like document their conquest, or like just weird stuff. Like if you ever watch the kid stays in the picture, it's about Bob Evans, the guy that ran Paramount for the heyday of Paramount, talks about his glass coffee table. Go get into that. Hollywood's a weird, weird place, man. All these people are strange. They're all very, very, very strange. But there was an article that came out before this Naomi article about how, I guess, Ghislaine Maxwell or somebody else procured French triplets for Jeffrey Epstein as a birthday present. Back to that birthday present thing. And I guess, according to Virginia Roberts and some of these other girls that are accusing him, he was running around these parties and running around these functions and be like, oh yeah, these little girls are, they're from some super poor family in France, and they're, the Danny Thomas glass table. Yes, that one. Yes, David Bobby, that one. People are weird around here. They're very, very strange. What was I saying? David Bobke, what was I saying? I forget now. You have to keep track. Okay, so yes, so this birthday that Jeffrey Epstein had been given these French twins on a rental. Somebody rented them for him. He's going around bragging, oh yeah, they're from this poor family. This family's so happy to sell them to me for my birthday, or sell them to his friend to give him for his birthday, and blah, 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 blah. These parents will sell their kids, and they will. They will. Don't think for a second that these parents are not out here pimping their kids, because they are. They are. And a lot of times, especially in places like Michigan, which we've still yet to talk about, we need to, people have kids to pimp. Like, that's part of their family planning, I guess you could say. It's part of their Planned Parenthood is to pimp these kids. And it's gross. It is so, 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 so gross. But that goes back to the thing that I said before about the media is drip feeding these details. The girls and the children, because there's going to be little boys that come up in this too eventually, are going to get younger and younger as this story goes on. And we're going to get all the way down from 17-year-olds, almost going to be 18, and now we're sliding down to like 11 and 12, and then we're going to get to 7 and 8, and then we're going to get to 4 and 5, and then we're going to get all the way down to infants. Don't think that we won't, because we will. As this comes out, especially now that he's quote-unquote dead, there is going to be more. It might even make the process faster. We'll see. But it's going to get so nasty, you're not even going to be able to fathom it. And I've said that over and over again, and I'm going to continue to say it because nobody's going to believe me. And if they do believe me, they're going to need to hear it a few times before they can get in the zone and accept the information. So, that being said, that brings us to Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein, as of this week, has a new, brand spanking new, sealed indictment. And yes, you can indict a ham sandwich, whatever. But Sealed indictments are a different thing. Anytime that you close a courtroom or you seal a case or you expunge names to protect the victim, blah, 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 that has to come under certain circumstances. And most of those, oh, hello, Michael Lawrence. And most of the time, those circumstances are sex crime related or minor related. They're involving minor children, or they're involving like heinous sex crimes. I spelled No Filter Friday wrong in this titling, and I'm just now seeing that. I'll have to fix that later. But anyway, spoiler alert, this new sealed indictment that's come down on Harvey Weinstein is a sex trafficking charge. Surprise, surprise. But if you go back a few episodes in what we did that was like a Harvey update, probably a couple months ago now, but we talked about how they were changing the laws in New York to encompass sex trafficking and what sex trafficking means legally, like the legal definition of it, and what the prosecutor was trying to go after him as. So they changed it around, they reconfigured it, bing, bang, boom, sealed indictment with Harvey Weinstein's name on it. I have a feeling he's not going to be in that little ankle bracelet at his nice little house in Connecticut for much longer. Because once the sealed indictment gets underway, he's not going to be able to stay out of jail. He's not going to be able to stay out of jail. He can fight, he can kick, he can scream, he can do all that. But I think the point of putting him in jail might be to get him to sing like a canary for his friends. Because remember, he has like this Brutus Caesar thing going on. The reason why Harvey Weinstein, I call him the sacrificial lamb of this whole thing, of Me Too morphing into the pedo apocalypse, is because he was the easiest point of entry, the path of least resistance to get this whole thing going. Nobody likes Harvey and Bob. They're giant D-bags to everybody. It's not just these chicks. It's everybody. Ask anybody who's ever worked with or for Harvey or Bob, excuse me, and they will tell you like, oh my God, can't stand them. They're disgusting. Hate them, hate them, hate them. So, a la Gretchen Wieners and Mean Girls, as soon as that New Yorker got the first stab in, everybody was like, get him! Get him! And it was just stab, 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 stab. Because they were all tired of him. Tired of him. So, he was a sacrificial lamb that's like, okay, yeah, girls that want to be actresses, they were actresses, but like, underage, above age, coerced, blah, 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 blah. And as we go throughout this, these people that are getting lit up in the press by the Me Too movement that's like morphing into the pedo apocalypse, who are getting younger and younger and younger and younger and younger, will eventually end up down at the other end, the really, really, really disgusting end of infants. Because it's going to happen at some point here, probably pretty soon, considering the circumstances. So be ready. Be prepared mentally, and if you just had a baby or you are in some sort of emotional state, you need to get away from the news. And myself included in that. Like, if you can't hang with this information that's about to come out, or you need more time to digest it or whatever, I would take yourself away from the news cycle or social media or whatever you got to do, because it's gonna get so nasty, so fast, and it will blow your mind at how disgusting and sinister all this is. So incredibly gross. Like, the rational mind cannot even fathom the disgusting things that these people, like Jeffrey Epstein and the CEO of Overstock.com, oh, hi, Donnie, and Les Wexner and Bob De Niro, and, a lot of these people have been doing for a long time. And who's in on it? It's like over and over and over again. It's like this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. You can't even, like, if you go back on my personal page, my personal Facebook, I posted that article that's like about Naomi, and it kind of is, but like the list of people that you have to get all the way down to Naomi is like, it's dense, man. Dense. You have to go a long way to get down to Naomi Campbell, but she looked better in the thumbnail, so that's who they chose. Because she's going to get more clicks. Remember that conversation that we had? So, because of my voice, I'm going to wrap it down now that we're at about like 20 minutes because you don't want to keep hearing this god-awfulness. But I'm going to keep posting throughout the week on all my social platforms, and I post different stuff in different places. So between Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, you're going to get different stuff because I have a different audience on all of those different places. And of course, excuse me, oh my gosh, my throat is in such terrible shape. This is what happens when you're a director and you have to like yell and talk all day long. Like, ah! Like we don't get megaphones anymore. Like you have to do it with your voice. It's hard. It's hard on my little tiny voice. Being loud all the time and talking over people and just the sheer amount of volume of talking that I have to do right now is crazy. So, with that being said, check out other shows on Public House Media now that we're 2 years old. And there's all these fun people on, like Disarming Disability and C. Jane Cell, Beauties and Headcanons, Confessions of a Military Spouse, all those super fun shows that are not nearly as heavy and like dark as this one, because I'm like the dark horse of Public House Media for sure. Nobody can even argue that. And get, if you're like a podcast person, you're not a live show person. If you're a podcast person, leave a review or some stars or a comment on whatever podcast listening platform you're on. iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, all those places. Leave some love or not love, whatever. I don't know. And I will see you all next week for more crazy in this disgusting, gross town that we call Hollywood. And hopefully at some point we'll just, do a total personnel changeover and we won't have to put up with this crap anymore. So I will see you all next week, hopefully with a better voice. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, bye.